This is a classic blues and R&B podcast.
Mr. Perrell, welcome to our program. It's good to have you here to tell us about who you are and where you've been and what you've been doing with yourself.
Hi, Henry. Hi, my hometown people. Yeah, I'm over here talking with Henry and out of the fabulous city of Las Vegas, where I now reside. And I'm so glad to hear from Henry because, I love my hometown. But and how we started, he wanted to know how we kind of started into this thing. It was like at the age of 13. I won't tell you my age. Well, yes, I will. I'm 78 now. And I started at 13 out of Inglewood High School. Started as a doo-wop, on the corners, finding echoes there wherever we can and all that stuff. Me and Gene Chandler. And I come along with the Shy-Lights and all of those people. And then it's just been a fabulous trip. It's not been the blessed of all trip, but it was blessed of all because I'm still here and that so many other people are gone. So, yeah, I think back at the good times and the bad times.
Mm. Now, you say you started here in Chicago, and you were out of Inglewood High School, you say?
Yeah, Inglewood High School.
Okay, and you were with Gene Channel and all those. Now, and what? We had a group called the Gay Tone. Oh, okay. When did you leave Chicago? Did you do your recording here in Chicago or what?
No, I actually did my recording. The first recording I did was in California. I was singing. After we broke up, I was singing just as Eddie Perrell around the city. We could work as long as you had a good act. That's how Chicago was. And I was singing on 63rd Street at a nightclub. And the guy came in from California and saw my performance, saw my show, and invited me to come to California, sent me to come to California to record in Los Angeles. Yep. And that was in the 60s. That was around 61. Yep.
And what label were you with? He was with?
What was the name of this label? Oh my God! The guy's name was Moon Man. Oh, Golden Sound. Yeah.
Okay.
I had a song called Hot Foot.
Hot what?
Hot Foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How did they play it? How did they play it on the radio? How did they do?
Well, it played on the radio there a little bit. It wasn't this guy he didn't have all his horse, to be in the business, so they went through his money right fast, and along with other artists on that same label was Jimmy Norman. I don't know if you remember that guy, and that was not my first experience with that. Then I left from there, and when I went on the road with Little Richard, and that's when I ran into Jimi Hendrix. Matter of fact, I was just telling Henry how he had was in Las Vegas and Atlanta. That is, and I got him to come to play with Little Richard. That's how I ran into Jimi Hendrix. That was great.
Yeah,
that was a good time.
So how did that happen? That you got in touch? You got with Little Richard? Little Richard as well as Jimmy.
Well, Little Richard, it was a close-knit situation. If you were a singer and entertainer in Los Angeles in the '60s, there was plenty of work, and everybody knew everybody. Matter of fact, I knew Sam Cooke from L.A. From Chicago. I knew Sam Cooke and L.C. Cooke and all of them. And at that time, they had came out to California. Everybody went Go West Young Man, know.
Right.
So everybody was out there, and Sam was out there. And matter of fact, Sam got killed out there. At the time he got killed, I was in the Apollo Theater with the Little Richard show. That was one of the saddest days of my life.
Yeah.
Sam was one of my best friends. Yeah. So then after that, after I left the Little Richard show, I went on did shows myself again, all through all the places that we had went. And I was, ran into James Brown out there in California. I forgot to tell you about that. James and I had a nice relationship because while we was one of the many things that happened there with James and I, outside of singing on shows, opening shows for him in California at the 5-4 ballroom. James fired me. Yeah, he fired me because he said, "Mr. Perrell, you should have your own show. You just can't be coming to be on my show." He paid me for a whole tour because I did a good show. James, I understood that. It was business. James was a businessman.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we had things with James that, like we were in New York and doing a show. No, we were in Philadelphia doing a show, and James came to visit Little Richard and I, and it was a funny thing that happened. Little Richard told James, asked me, "Hey, Perrell, tell James that I'm smarter than him." And I said, "James, don't ask me that." And I told him I didn't think he was. And James just rolled on the floor. He was laughing. So that was one of the relationships and times that we had that I had the experience with James Brown, which ended up one of the best things that ever happened to me. Because later on in 1972, I was in New York and I had been with Stack Records. Let me go back a little bit.
Yeah, take your time. Just take your time.
Yeah, I had went with Stack Records and recorded The Spoiler, which was a pretty good record for me in Chicago in 1967. I just remember Lucky Cordell, right?
Right.
Yeah, he was my manager then, and I recorded that record, The Spoiler. And let's see, I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, or back of myself, but I've had so many different experiences. So anyway, about James Brown, after that event happened, and I was introduced to a group called the Fly Slick and the Wicked. I was living in New York, and I got him on James Brown's label, which was People Records, got the group on there. And that's when we recorded this record called Shown Up, which years after that, coming back to modern times a little bit, that record was sampled, praise the Lord, was sampled by Justin Timberlake, Jay-Z, and J. Cole, which the record that was sampled with was Suit and Tie, which I know you heard of that one, but which became triple platinum. Which was, thank God for that. I'm having good things with that right now today, So that's kind of what happened and what's going on with me. And now I got this new record, Henry. I got this new record, and I wanted to do this record about 30 years ago, and finally I got a chance to produce it. And it's called Hey There, Mama Santa.
Okay.
Which I wrote and produced in public, which I felt was the biggest thing that happened about Christmas, because the real Santa to me and to everybody else, there is a Santa mode, but that real mode is Mom and Dad, right?
Right on.
Yeah, so, and when I think about Mom and Dad, I think about the dearest, which of always Mama. Love Daddy, but ooh, my Mama. So that's what I wrote about. Hey there, Mama Santa. And right now, everybody's predicting this record to be a standard. It is a danceable record. And it's funky and it's bluesy. And wait till you hear it. Just wait till you hear it.
Okay, now you just coming out with that record this year, 2019?
Yeah. And I'm going to get that record to you today, Henry. Okay. I'm gonna, we do things by the modern way now with that MP3s, is that what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Wave, MP3s, or whatever else you can email, send it through the email or whatever.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing now, and that's what I'm going to do. So be looking out for it, folks.
Yeah. Now, who was it? Did you do this with a band, or how did you do that?
I did this with a band. I produced it. That same way I produced the Black Slicker and Wicked and all the other stuff. I wrote it, and I had it arranged and showed the arranger how to do it and what I wanted, and he did that excellent job on that. Hey there, Mama Santa. Pierre Javon. He's here in Las Vegas, which I'll be using forever. Thinking to do some of my grandkids also. I want to mention that. I'm thinking to take my one of my granddaughters into the studio next month. And that's what's going on. We'll be listening for this Hey There, Mama Santa. What can Santa do for you this year?
Yeah.
Instead of riding you around in a red sleigh with little old funky reindeer.
yes, okay. Now, your children, you spoke of your grandkids now. Your grandchildren, are they into music? Are they instruments? I mean, musicians or singers or what?
Yeah. Thank God gave them, I guess they passed it on down.
Hmm.
Yep. So I finally got one of them ready. Then I'm looking for a flood of them after I get my one granddaughter on record. I'm looking for the rest of them to come, I've been wanting to produce them and everything, too.
Well, what genre are they in? Are they in soul music, rap, or what?
They're soul music. My granddaughter that I'm taking in there, Amaya, which I'm going to call her Mama, she can sing. Her mama can sing. My mama was a singer. So it's going to just pass it on down the line. So be looking out for that new record, Eddie PERRELL. Hey there, Mama Santa.
So you've been doing music how long? Forever, huh? Since you were a teenager?
Yeah, what's that, about 60-some years? That's been about 50 years, I guess, now. I'm 60, longer than 50. 50 years. Marshall and I were talking about that about 3 months ago. Marshall the Shylight.
Yes, sir, the Godfather.
Yeah, Marshall, he's the last one of the Shylight. We call it last man standing.
Right.
Shylight.
Right. Now you tell me a little bit about other parts of your life as a entertainer as well. Since you've been out here for a while and you've been with some of the greats, you talk about Little Richard, Sam Cooke, James Brown and all that stuff. How has it been, in show business for you? How do you see it today?
Well, it's a new world, but you know what? There's nothing really new under the sun. I guess that's difficult. Things are a lot better for entertainers than it was in the early days. The people born in the 40s and 50s and stuff like that. We did a lot of stuff as show. I call it show, meaning we were in show, and a lot of us were not in show business. Meaning this, and I'm looking at the younger groups, the rappers and all that. These guys, these young folks, I mean, a lot of them are in show business because they made their records, they're producing their records, they're writing their songs, and they're publishing their songs, and that's business. James Brown, I'm looking at him, and he's show business. The biggest one would have been of all, Sam Cooke. I mean, he was in show business because he had Star Records. But a lot of us, I come down, one of my best friends, God bless his soul, he's gone, Johnny Taylor. He was a rich man in show business, but he was in show just for him. He never produced other people. I don't remember him doing anything like that. As a matter of fact, by the way, Johnny has several children that he did do Floyd. I remember Floyd. He did him. And a lot of the other groups, that were in show business that I knew, which I can just remember, like Charles. He produced his own stuff. Charles he sang very well. But, that they were in show business.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people were not.
Now
they were in show.
Yeah. Now you say James. You say that you traveled. You toured with Little Richard too. What kind of was he in show business or show? Or the hell he put on a show?
He was in show. He was in show. Yeah, I love Richard. I know he gonna say, brother, I heard you on that thing talking about in show. Well, yeah, Richard, it's true. You were a big star, and you're still a big star. He's a mega star.
Yeah.
But he never produced nobody else. So a lot of us, including my brother Johnny Taylor, they just did themselves. Tyrone Davis and all those things, they just did themselves, which was not wrong, but could have been a lot like Motown,
When did you come to realization? When did you come to the realization that there was a difference between show and show business? When did that light turn on for you?
When meeting James Brown and also meeting people like what's the name Tina Turner,
mm-hmm.
which I knew very well.
So Ike was in show business, huh?
Yeah, I can see he was in show business. Yeah, because he produced other groups.
Right.
Matter of fact, Ike was one of the few artists like James Brown that promoted their own self. That they promoted their own shows.
Mm.
Little Richard, he did have his own show. Little Richard did that because I was on his show.
Mm-hmm.
They travel with their own show. But yeah, so I admire the younger groups. I admire them a lot, because they're writing, producing, and I find right now it's very important. I say to any of the young folks out there, be sure to write. Be sure to publish, be a publisher, a writer and a publisher, because those two things right there outside are also a producer. Get label distribution deal. You know what I'm saying? If you're going with a label, be sure to register yourself as a writer. Be sure to from a writer, being a publisher, because those things will stay with you forever, and when you're going to go with your family. So that's business. That's show business.
Okay, well that's some good information. I think young folks, not only young folks need to know about in show business, because a lot of folks go into show business and all they're interested in is the glitter and the lights.
Yeah.
They don't think about when they get to be 60. Wait a minute, where's my old folks' pension check at?
Exactly.
So, but you makes a lot of sense when you said publishing, writing, producing, and all that stuff. And
absolutely.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I'm living off that right now. If I had not done those things, I could have been on the street.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A pauper.
Yeah.
Homeless, broke.
Right.
I ain't that rich right now, but I ain't broke.
Yeah. Well, you got a roof over your head.
Yeah, I got a roof on my head and food to eat, clothes on my back, automobile to drive, and they're all mine, paid for.
Right.
Behind publishing, behind writing, behind producing.
Mm-hmm. Who are some of the people you've written? Who are some of the people?
Those things.
Who are some of the people you've written and produced and all?
Well, it was that one group. That one group I produced. The Sly Slick and the Wicked.
Uh-huh.
That did it for me.
Good.
That did it for me. And then like a lot of the other people, with people like Smokey Robinson. Smokey Robinson, mega guy for business, you know. And we all got off on the wrong track with the wine, the women, and drugs and all that stuff. It happened to me too. It can happen to anybody. But I want to tell you that you ain't got to stay there. I mean, you could come away from that. God took me from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever we do, I just want to also tell everybody. I mean, all increase I feel, and I know, and I see, and I've lived, that all increase comes from God above.
That's true.
You know, and if you recognize that, the only thing you got to do is give him the credit. He'll give you the money.
Yeah, that's true. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Now, you say you had Jimi Hendrix play with you guys, or Little Richard, or what? How did that come about with him?
Well, I think that I know for a fact that the catapult that sent Jimi Hendrix into stardom was Little Richard. You know, he got him out there and put him in the limelight. I'm laughing because this is, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you and the world about this. This is funny.
Okay.
This is really funny.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix would play perfect for his boss, which makes sense, which was Little Richard. But when he got to play for anybody else on the show, because he was in the band, he would do some of his, he would, take off into his own self, which was a genius thing. But it wasn't good for the artists that he's playing behind, like myself. So I used to tell Jimmy, I said, Jimmy, turn your amps down. Play what you want to play, but turn them down where you're going to make me go out off key. And that's what he used to do when he played my music. The rest of the guys played rap, but I told Jimmy, just turn his amp off and just do what he wanted to do, because that's what he was. He was a genius. But he played right, he played Little Richard stuff right, but he wouldn't play nobody else's stuff right.
Okay. Now he was with the original Upsetters, right? He came in with them, right?
Yeah, I didn't know him at that time. I only met him when we got into Atlanta, Georgia, and the guitar player for Little Richard got homesick. And that's when Little Richard asked me to go in town to see if I could find somebody. So I knew a guy named Gorgeous George who used to valet for Marvin Gaye. And he was a comedian, and he had a show there. He was no longer with Marvin right then, but I knew that he was in Atlanta. So that's where I went and found Gorgeous George, and I said, hey man, I need Little Richard needs a guitar player. And that's when Gorgeous told me to go find Jimi Hendrix. And that's how I met Jimi Hendrix. I went and found him. Okay, I'll tell you the rest. And Jimmy at that time, he wasn't working with anybody, and I asked him if he wanted to play for Little Richard, And he said, yeah. How like that? That's how he talked, So he said, but my problem is that my guitar is in the pawn shop. I said, is that right? He said, yes, my guitar is in the pawn shop. I said, well, no problem. I said, where is it? Take me there. And I had money. So I went and got his guitar at the pawn shop and brought him to Little Richard. He got on that bus and got his clothes and everything at that day and got on the tour bus and left with Little Richard. Yep.
How long did he stay with Richard?
He stayed all the way to the point that they went overseas, and that's when once he went overseas, that's where he got his big break.
Yeah.
Because he left Little Richard, I believe, because I wasn't there at that time. He went overseas and left. Whatever happened between him and Little Richard, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad for either one.
Mm.
Both of them, it was mega stars.
Yeah. What kind of guy is Little Richard? Speaking of him, I understand he's back in the ministry today. I heard that somewhere. I'm not sure. I don't. You know better than I would.
He had an incident happen with him, and I don't know the whole story, but it was a near-death incident, and he gave his life to God.
Mm.
And Richard's my partner. I really like. He gave me my break.
Mm.
Him and James Brown, the two people that helped me in show business.
Yeah, Richard looked like a funny guy. You know what I mean by that. Back in the day, how you would call a guy, this joker just crazy, man. He's out because he was funny. He could tell jokes, all that kind of crap. Is he that kind of person?
Well, he was naturally. Little Richard's one of the most talented individuals, him and Jimi Hendrix, that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was magic.
Mm.
Show business, he was personified a showman.
Yeah. That's for sure.
And I never would have thought that Jimi Hendrix would be as big as he became.
Uh-huh.
But I tell you this, I hate drugs. And drugs have taken away too many wonderful, fabulous people.
Yeah.
In the world, and mainly in show business.
Right. It seems to be that way, yeah.
I wouldn't give a drug to an enemy. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I mean, drugs made me homeless before.
Okay.
So, God took me away from that.
Mm.
I got to tell you this story.
Yeah, you want to tell it? Hey, look, you can tell it, and I will, if anything you don't want to say, then you don't say it. But otherwise, this is going for the record.
I'm going to tell you.
Go right on.
I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it. I had been high for 40 years. Marijuana. That's why I'm not caring about that stuff. It was a gateway drug. That was the marijuana and wine. And I went through that for years and years and years and years and years. And then after it got to the point that in the 80s, I was bitter about show business, but I still kind of stayed with the limelight thing because it's much to the point that I went and worked for a radio station in Tampa. I was their promotions director, and I was still in the drugs, back in the back, And I left that station because of a situation that I had with the president. And I became homeless. And I really went off into the drug thing until I gave my life back to God. But I thought that I had really done it really well, but I got to the point that I was living in one of them, what do you call it, place where if you're homeless that you live, one of those things, and they would send me out to work, and I'd come back, and they would I'd save my money for me, and I'd stop doing drugs and stuff like that, but I was like preaching to this guy one day, and then he wanted to, tell me don't preach to me and blah, 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 so I came in late one day, and he would not let me in the door. So I had to leave and sleep on the street. So I came upon a street preacher. You've seen those people. He was a white guy that was preaching on the street in Miami. And I thought I was really doing good, but I didn't realize that God was setting me up, I was supposed to say, but I'm telling you, I started to cry for what this guy was saying, okay? So the guy turned to me and asked me, he said, told me, he said, I know what you need. And I looked at him, and I said, what? He said, you need the baptism of the Holy Spirit. And I said, is that right? He said, I said, oh, yeah, okay. And he said, can I lay hands on you? And I said, yes. And he laid hands on me and I passed out. Henry, the world, I'll tell anybody, at that moment, 40 years of addiction left me in the twinkle of an eye. When I woke up, drugs were gone. I was in a cocoon. I could smell the air. I could see the stars. I could feel the breeze. I slept on a bench with my shoes on and nobody bothered me. And that was in 86. And I've never touched another drug since. Never smoked another cigarette. Never drank another drink. Maybe a beer or something like that, non-alcoholic. And now I know what God can do. I'm a witness to that. So I had to tell y'all that story.
Yeah. Hold on 1 minute.
That's the story I wanted to tell.
Yeah. Well, and I will do justice to it and put it together on my channel. Yeah, I will, and I appreciate that, man. You know.
I thank you for giving me a platform to tell it.
All right, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
PERRELL, that's 2 R's and 2 L's.
Yeah, where you get that name from?
That's my daddy's name.
Where your daddy from?
Mississippi.
Oh yeah,
Mississippi.
What part?
That's ironic that phone number they gave me from Mississippi too.
Yeah, that 601 number. You out in Vegas? Yeah. What are y'all area codes out there? Yeah,
that's another reason I didn't mind having the number. But the other reason was that I was getting calls from there, and people would hang up or talk to me, except for one lady, one old wonderful lady that would call me and say, "How you?" And now her voice was so sweet that whenever she calls me, I talk to her.
Mm. Yeah. And what part of Mississippi your daddy from?
Natchez.
Yeah, you ever get back down that way?
Never have.
Yeah, well, Natchez is close.
I have my mama's from Pine Bluff, and I've never been there either.
Oh, your mother's from Arkansas? Okay, yeah.
No, my dad's from Natchez, Mississippi. My mom's from Arkansas.
Yeah, Pine Bluff, right? Yeah. What you call Natchez is down on the close to Louisiana. It's not that far.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. So that's one of the native tribes of Mississippi. One of those are down that way, Natchez. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I appreciate it, Brother Eddie. Anything else you would like to leave us with? I got a lot here to work with.
Well, only thing I can say is, please buy my new record. Please dance and have a good time, and God bless you all.
Yeah, right. So
God bless you.
So you can have a good Christmas.
Hey, Mama Sam.
Yeah, what I say. So you can have a good Christmas. So they go out and have a good Christmas party, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Eddie. Thank you, and God bless and keep you, man. All right, I want to thank you guys for listening to us here on our program. Here we are. Our guest has been Mr. Eddie PERRELL, who's from Chicago, Illinois, who lives in Vegas now, who is a music producer. He was a singer, writer, publisher, and all of that stuff of music. And now he said he's just turning it over to the next generation. Take good care of yourself, Brother Eddie.
All right, Brother Henry. God bless everybody.
All right.
Love y'all.
All right. God bless and keep you as well, my man. Bye-bye now. So give me your assessment of Mr. Little Richard. I know you performed with him.
Yeah. He's a genius. I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
What a performer. What a character. Yeah, the world loved him. He was one of the true artists that crossed over from R&B to rock, from rock and roll, and what we call a crossover. He was, like, I would say, the one that most people rock and roll listen to, and that's white audiences and the black audiences, and all over the United States, all over the world. Yeah, he was the king of rock and roll, I would say. Elvis was after him, you know, that I would say, and Chuck Berry, all in that category.
So did you have a relationship with him before his passing?
Well, I hadn't heard from him in years before he passed, but I did see him online on different documentaries and stuff like that, and I was kind of proud of him because of his homosexuality. That he did what I think God wanted everybody to do, to repent and stop doing what they were doing. You know, I've often said that sin is sin, you know, with the object of one's how they live is to repent and change, stop doing what they're doing, and he did that. He was one of the true people that was homosexual that ended up telling other homosexuals that that was a lie straight from the pits of hell, that you can't change and stop being that, and spoke against it. I think the last thing he had me cracking up saying, he said that God made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve. Mm-hmm. He had me cracking up. Yeah, Richard was something else.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I want to thank you for that comment on him, someone who knew him and who worked with him. So I appreciate this comment, Mr. Perrell.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for joining our podcast here on our YouTube channel. Subscribe to us at Henry CB. Follow us on Twitter at WVON Henry, and like our Facebook page at Classic Blues and R&B.